Miguel, host of Life Full Circle Radio, and so one of them days when it was kind of slow. We couldn't really get it on Monday because what happened on Monday? Oh, it was Labor Day, and by the time I was trying to get off, I was grilling, and my wife was sending me meat to cook, so I had to be on the grill. So here's what it is. So today, Trump loses a battle in court to the Isaac Hayes family and legacy. You probably be watching any of the shows MSNBC. Actually, Ike was just on MSNBC with Joy Reid just actually before the show came on. Elon Musk and his investors lost over $20 billion on X in the last 2 years. Liz Cheney is endorsing Kamala Harris. We're going to talk about that because it seems like somebody's moderate or someone. She's not moderate. She's a bona fide conservative. But they trying to get rid of Trump any which way they can. And another school shooting is northwest of where we are here on the way to Athens, but it's in adjacent to Atlanta. But 4 people are dead. So once again, all right. So here we go. Social media. Oh, see, I did a little something with my cameras today, and now it's got me looking kind of crazy. So that's the only scene I didn't catch. Let me pull that back out. All right, social media. Follow us. We're right now live on YouTube, Facebook, and somewhere else. Twitch. That's where we are. All right, so make sure you follow us on all them platforms that there, and tell a friend. Super producer.
What's up? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Sorry, guys.
So it's gone now. But it's gone now. That's why people's watching show was like, what is he doing? Okay, it's dinner time, and dinner was a little bit behind. So, and we went to Orlando to go see our people in Orlando. And
I'm sorry, what?
This was not recently. This was.
Oh, I was about to say.
We were in Orlando, and my buddy's a lady. She is, I believe she's Cambodian, and they make this.
Oh,
stuff.
her.
That is sidebar conversation.
Yes, her. Yay, her. Yeah.
So anyway, her family, they're amazing cooks, and they make this sauce. They like to call it like a crack sauce. It is so good. You put it on seafood and fish, and it is amazing. And so Trey just made some of that for the fish we just got from JJ's Fish. And it was yummy.
We had spaghetti.
Hey man, we were just I would have been absolutely fine with spaghetti, but I'll take this crack sauce. All right, so anyway, so it kind of a slow week, kind of sorta, but yeah. So
it was slow until today,
until today, until obviously we got the situation in Georgia, and oh man, and you know what the scary part about it is. And we say this every time there's a school shooting, is that this happened and it's terrible. Obviously, we're praying for their families. But every time it happens, it feels less and less like it's a story that everybody's really focusing on. It's almost just like, hot dog, another school shooting, pray for the family, and what's for dinner.
It stopped stinging. It used to sting for a long time.
Us to be
and
at that point in our society, it's really scary that that's where we are, but there is some truth to that. It really is, man. Because when I saw it today, I was working, and my mother-in-law said, "Hey, no, my dad actually texted me," and I turned it on and I said, "Jesus Christ, here we go again." So 4 people are dead, and I think more are wounded, and we just and actually that's not too far, and it may even be Marjorie Taylor Greene's district that it happened in, because it's in that part of the state. And so, what are you reading over there?
So here's the thing. Well, I was getting ready to copy the link to the show to share. But so what we know so far, a 14-year-old student opened fire at his Georgia high school on Wednesday, killing 2 students and 2 teachers before surrendering to school resource officers, according to the authorities, who said the suspect would be charged with murder. Students barely a month into the new school year at Appalachian High School in Winder, Georgia, described their terror as a lockdown that they initially thought was a drill turned out to be anything but. They said they heard gunfire and barricaded themselves in classrooms, then later fled to the football field to reunite with anxious parents.
It's
we're banning.
What else is there to say? Yeah, go ahead.
We're banning books.
Yeah.
We're banning story time from
Yeah.
school. We're
Yeah.
banning, tampons in boys' bathrooms and
Yeah.
all of these things, but we've yet to ban the thing that actually harms children.
Right.
There's only
It's
so much these schools can
the
do.
highest death rate. The highest death rate is amongst for children is school shootings, which is insane. You know, it's insane. There's so many other things that, but it's school shootings, and you sit back and you wonder like where does it end? I have no idea. At this point, this is just a
Well,
way of life for us as Americans.
even more interesting to me that I think this really needs to be said is they keep doing everything but banning guns, banning AR-15 weapons is always what's used. Because you think about it, we got schools, teachers being considered having guns, which is a horrible idea. We
Yeah.
got them learning how to use blackout curtains to put over their glass windows. Like that stops a bullet because glass it stops a bullet every time
Right.
a black curtain that goes down. We
Yeah.
have got schools so locked down, multiple resource officers. Listen, people, no matter what you put in the school, it doesn't stop an AR-15 through a glass door. It doesn't.
No. You know, we look at this thing and like I said, it's not even, you know, 3, 4, 10 years ago, if there was a school shooting like what we just like what just happened, that's all we would be talking about. We would see on the news right now. It hasn't even pushed the election off of the front page, right? It's
Nope.
you know, it's just crazy where we are, but this is where we are, and I don't really know. It's just not a lot. It's just not a lot else to say. I don't know. I don't know.
And I think, I think everybody for Twitter for the first time, I'm actually seeing a lot of people just like, and Republicans and Democrats both saying, I'm sorry, I'm trying to post this tweet,
Hmm.
saying we're over this. We're over it. It's ridiculous at this point. It's we're a month into a school year, another mass
Right.
shooting. It is not even like a
Right.
mass shooting at a public venue. We're talking about kids who are defenseless who are in class.
Right.
And the shooter's a
Correct.
14-year-old child. A 14-year-old child.
Is the one who committed the shooting, right? And so that's when you start wondering, like, oh, what is it? You know, they haven't told us much about much about the person, and that's why, right? Because it's a kid, and of course you're not supposed to mention their names and all that good stuff, and so that's where we are, and we just sit back and say, you know, where does it end? I don't know. I don't know where this stuff ends, man. It's just crazy. And so anyway, all right. As there's more development with that, we'll come back to that. All right. So you talked about Trump and the Arlington situation. Let's talk about that Arlington piece a little bit here.
So people may not know this, and I think a lot of information, a lot of very helpful information is coming out about Arlington National Cemetery. Everybody should know what Arlington is. Arlington
Mm-hmm.
is where soldiers are buried, have been buried
Yeah.
since World War II. It is one
Right.
of it's a national landmark. It is managed by the US Army. It's where, and I want to say all military service members who die in active duty are buried there, right? Not just Army, it's
No.
Army, Air Force. No?
Well, branches. Yeah, well, I only say because there are other cemeteries because my grandmother and my grandfather are buried in a cemetery similar in Virginia, in back where I'm
Did they
from.
fight in the Civil War?
No.
Sorry. You,
Gee.
you left me wide open.
Oh my God. So everything that goes in your head is not supposed to come out your mouth. Just
My
Uh,
bad. You're right. Trump
so
moment.
anyway, my grandfather served in the U.S. Army and my father served in the Air Force. But no, it's just the fact that they're so dismissive now with what they're supposed to do and what not to do, right?
Oh wait, let me
Um,
finish the story. Sorry,
Go
guys,
ahead,
because
finish
we
the
will.
story. Go ahead.
So here's the whole story. Arlington National Cemetery has very strict rules. You are
That's right.
not allowed to politically politicize Arlington National Cemetery. If there is like a national event, like a big event, a holiday, like when they visit the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure is at Arlington. Sorry if I'm wrong. President and vice president come, they lay a wreath, people take a couple pictures. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
just coming to visit as a political candidate, you're not allowed to take pictures and you're not allowed to use them in ads. That's why we never see Arlington National Cemetery in anybody's ads. Well, Trump was invited by Gold Star families of people who died at the Abbey Gate. And is Abbey Gate, I made the mistake last week, it's the Abbey Gate mission in Afghanistan from a couple years ago. For those who died there, he was invited by those families to come and visit. So he comes in, and he comes in with his full team, with
Right.
cameras, with video cameras, and
Right.
staff at the Arlington Cemetery was trying to stop them. She was pushed off to the side. She was also,
Has there any video
basically
surface with that yet? Because they've
of her
talked
getting
about.
pushed.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
I've seen
there is
anything,
no
but
video.
you know.
And there
Um,
wouldn't be video because nobody there. Arlington is not recorded for security reasons. There
makes
would be no
sense.
video because no one else is recording. The only people who would have that footage would be the Trump team, which wouldn't release that footage because it
Of
makes them look
course,
bad.
of course, of course. But I
Um,
don't really think that they've denied that it happened, right? So
they are. They're denying that that happened, that
okay,
incident happened. They're saying that
okay.
it was made up. This never happened.
Everything's
It's a
always
made up
made up
story
with them.
by.
Nothing really happens with Trump. It's always made up with them. Everyone's lying but them.
He's calling her. He's saying it was a made up story by Comrade Kamala and her misinformation squad. Even though everybody there has basically the same story who wasn't in his team, but he was invited by the family, which is great. But you weren't. You're not supposed to take pictures and video, and you're not supposed to use them in campaign ads. And he immediately used it in campaign ads, which he had to take down because the U.S. Army don't play the radio. They don't.
But that's just it. It's just like the dude has. There are no lines with him. There are no rules with him. He feels like he doesn't have to follow any rules. Doesn't have to follow anything. And it's just there's no respect. You know, it used to be a time that he tried to claim by they're more patriotic than, these he's disrespecting Tim Walz. He's disrespecting Gold Star families. You got pictures of you're taking pictures by people's headstones, and the other family
Headstones.
headstone that's in the shot are saying, we don't want to see you standing over our family's headstone taking pictures.
Doing this. Why are we giving a thumbs up on a gravesite?
So, you look at this guy and you're just like, man, you just have no couth. There's just no line with him. It just does not exist. The line with this guy does not exist. It's not going to get any better. And so,
And I believe that the families invited him there, but I don't believe the families wanted there because one interesting thing they said about because it's called Section 60. That
uh-huh.
is the kind of newer section because that is the most recent incident that happened where these men and women are barely buried in Arlington. And they said
Hmm.
Section 60 is the most somber and saddest, but it's the most lively because there are so many widows who come who are young widows who bring
Hmm.
their children who are
Hmm.
playing, who are
Hmm.
laughing, who are running around.
Right.
It just to me when I heard that, it's not the time to take pictures. It's not the time to
These people
record
don't care.
video.
They don't care.
I know.
They don't care.
I
It's
know.
like it's these are not the type of people. They just don't care. And that's the part that we're working on 10 years now since he came down from that escalator in 2015. I don't know what
That
time in
escalator is just oof.
we're
Oof.
working on 10
But
years of that, right? And it
mhm.
finally seems like it's gotten to the point that white folks are like, dude, we're tired of this, man.
Go to hell.
We've been sitting over in others. We've been sitting over like, dude, find another Republican to run out there and make it interesting. Like it's gonna be Kemp here in the next few years. I just got
Tim
to.
Ryan.
You keep on talking about Tim Ryan.
I
He chilling
know.
with
I'm
his beard
sorry.
somewhere. He ain't thinking about you.
Which
But
Kemp? Who Kemp?
the
Kemp?
governor of Georgia is gonna be he's either gonna run for senator or he's gonna run for president next time around.
Well, the good news about anybody running after this is that they see how bad the Trump rhetoric works. No
Mm-hmm.
one's going to do this again. We will never have a Trump
Mm-hmm.
style candidate again. Come on, Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how bad this has turned out. I don't think, and no Republican is standing next to Trump right now. Even my governor,
Guess who is standing
Governor
next to him?
High Heels.
Guess who is standing next to him? His family.
Oh, what
You think
family?
those other Trumps aren't going to run for office?
Those bobblehead coke snorting jerks better not. You really think those dodo birds would try to run? And you think people would? But do you think people?
Absolutely.
No, excuse me. They have the hubris and the arrogance to run. Do you think people would actively vote for them in heavy margins? Like, let's say,
We've had to deal with Donald Trump for almost 10 years in politics.
His daughter-in-law
Almost
just
10
came out with a new
years.
music video.
Who'd you say? What'd you say?
Laura Trump, who's the
Yeah,
co-chair of the RNC,
yeah,
has a music video out, and
yeah,
it is
yeah. I was in up here with Layla earlier this week, and there was some ad came on television that was a Trump fish or something. It was a singing fish that you put on your wall, and
on the wall. I have one of those.
but they make one with
Not a
Trump.
Trump kind, but it's saying another song.
Yeah, but they got one now with Trump, and he's got a little duck mouth, and he's got the blonde hair, and he's Trump, and build a wall, build a pond or something. And I said to myself, this really looks like a skit from SNL. This can't be real, but it was real.
Listen, when
So
SNL comes back, they ain't gonna have to do no work. None. It's just gonna be
we say this every year. Football season officially starts this weekend. NFL starts tomorrow, actually. It's on and popping now. All this other stuff has been the prelim. The ads have been bad enough now. The ads about to be treacherous.
Oh yeah. Shout out to all my football widows out there. I'm with you. I support you, football widows.
Hey man.
I know how it feels.
I'm just, and everything you look at, the polling is saying, it looks like, Harris is going to win. There's Republicans out here saying that they want her to win, and so they can try to sabotage her so she can't get nothing done when she's in office by holding on to the House and the Senate. That's a whole different conversation.
And that's fine. If that happens, I don't care. As long as anything, and again, maybe it's my Republican side of my brain finally being able to kick in again, where if they want to sabotage her so that we can restart new. So we don't have to deal with a Kamala Harris who's getting thrown into a race that nobody actively wanted. She just kind of got plopped in there. And we don't have to deal with a Trump who's an idiot. Like, there's a happy in between. And listen, the biggest tragedy I think of in all, I know that that's really dramatic to say, is that not one former president spoke at the RNC. Not one senator, active senator.
You said that was sad?
You don't think that's sad? That this is where the Republican Party has come to? Come on. Prior to Trump, you would have
shared no tears for what's going on at the RNC. They made this bed. They made this bed, right? They could have stopped this nonsense a long time ago, but they kept backing them and they kept backing them. There's an ad I saw today. It's crazy. It's kind of cheesy, but they got Trump in the middle, and they've got talking heads of all of the quotes of everybody from Ted Cruz to Marco Rubio and they're just using their own words against him, how they call him an idiot and how he's a liar and he's this and he's that.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of like, you guys could have stopped this. And it was a Republican that was on MSNBC earlier that said he was disappointed at the fact that Condoleezza Rice and George W. Bush have been silent during this whole time. They don't want that smoke.
He thought Condoleezza was going to speak up. Of all people, who's been one of the most smartest conservative women, conservative through and through, loves her country. You thought she was going to speak up for Trump?
Or at least speak up in against Trump, or speak up, not just be quiet.
No, she's not gonna.
Yeah.
No.
She's making too much.
She's not going to support, and she's not going to. Just like George W. Bush. George W. Bush is not going to say anything in support. Dick Cheney not going to say anything not support.
George W. Bush never wanted to be president in the first place. His people said, "You got to go do it," and he was like, "But I made C's in college. How am I going to be president? Just go do it."
Speaking
of Cheney, Liz Cheney's endorsing Kamala Harris. She did it at Duke University today. And we talk about let's talk about the Cheney family. Her dad, who shot a man in the face while they was out shooting.
Let it go. He was the greatest vice president of all time.
I'm not gonna let it go.
Okay.
It amuses me. That's
greatest vice president of all time.
That's the only thing I remember about Dick Cheney is that he shot the man in the face, and he felt like he was the dude from Star Wars, the puppet master behind George W. Bush while he was president. Anyway,
was.
Liz Cheney, who is a conservative through and through, she ain't no moderate. She is a conservative through and through. And she was one of the first main ones who stood up against Donald Trump. And now she came out and said on stage tonight at Duke University, I am voting for, she said, let me make it very clear. She said, I'm not only not voting for Donald Trump, I am voting for Kamala Harris. Because some of them will try to do the dance and say, I'm not voting for Trump, but then they'll abstain or they'll say I'm voting down ballot or something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
Nope. She said I'm not even gonna play with y'all. I'm not even gonna play in y'all faces. I am voting for Kamala Harris. And I sat back and said, you know, you can say what you want to say about Liz Cheney. She's got guts.
She's always had guts.
She's got
You
guts,
can say
man.
she has been called everything but a child of God by Trump people, and she's like, I
Yeah.
don't care. Tell me if I care. I don't.
My
Like,
daddy shoot people in the face. I don't care about y'all.
yo, she's like Glenn Close from Deliverance. Like, check it. This is me. I'm here. Now what? Did you watch that
You
movie?
talking about the new Deliverance? Is there another Deliverance? Because it seems like there's another
Yes,
movie called
it's
Deliverance.
the old Deliverance with the
Is it the
pigs
same
and the.
concept of the movie? Because we watched that thing.
No.
We watched that movie this weekend, and I was like, I gotta watch Martin when this turns off. I need to laugh after this because this is some old craziness. But let's get
So
back. We'll talk
New
about that in the show.
Deliverance was about something completely different. Like,
Okay,
really,
we'll talk
yeah.
about what we watching towards the end of the show.
That's gonna be our whole what? Because I
That's
got
gonna be
thoughts.
so going back to I don't know if the video's here. Going back to Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney says, okay, and I really admire the courage that she has shown in this because when it's all said and done, a lot of these hardcore Trump supporters are nut jobs, right? And she does not seem to care. She was like, okay, you guys can be nut jobs all you want. Y'all, I think where they live in Montana or where they live, they out in somewhere out there. And they're gonna end up on the what do they call on Yellowstone, thrown off the train or something. You don't watch Yellowstone? Oh man, Yellowstone is coming back too. It's a well, man, that's a whole different. I'm having my ADHD moment right now. That dude Taylor Sheridan has got some amazing shows that he's produced. Yellowstone, we're watching Kingstown, the Mayor of Kingstown right now.
We're gonna get on that next. We've been binge watching Bel Air, which by the way, Will Smith, you owe me $131 for the speeding ticket I got for watching the show while driving. Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Oh,
91 miles an hour going down I-10. I got a
Jesus.
speeding
Because you
ticket.
was watching the show while you was driving. Jesus Christ. All right. So anyway, so moving on from Liz Cheney. So kudos to her.
Oh wait, one more thing about Liz Cheney that I completely forgot. It's a really big thing about her. The reason why I say she's always 10 toes down. Liz Cheney objected to same-sex marriage. Her sister is gay and has been married to the same woman since 1992. And Liz Cheney didn't give a darn then about her own sister. She was like, I don't care. I'm happy you're married to her, but I don't support
ain't
it.
down with it. You know, when I know what you stand for, and I know, then hey, it is what it is. You got to respect somebody. You know, we don't always have to agree, but you know, you respect them. So, shout out to Liz Cheney. I can't believe I said that on my show, but shout out to Liz Cheney for standing up. For it. Let me see. Where's my comments joint? Somebody gave us a thumbs up. I don't know if there's been any comments. I want to make sure we don't miss those. All right, so Elon Musk. Let's move on over to Musty Musk, the owner of.
When is the guest coming on? Sorry.
I don't know. I sent him a note. He ain't came yet. We're gonna keep it moving.
Cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. Musky McRacist. Which is like Musty Mc trying to just scam people.
Right.
I'll just dive in. He bought Twitter. He has owned Twitter for the past, I want to say 3 years. Is 3 years correct, or is it only 2 years?
Give or take, yeah.
Give or take 2 or 3 years. And he has run this platform into the ground.
Yep.
They bought it for $33 billion. It is now only worth $9.48 billion, which is a huge, huge loss. And the reason why this is happening is because he drove away all of the advertisers. Because again, people know this. When you have a platform like a Facebook or an Instagram, well, Instagram not Facebook, or Twitter, you live and die off of advertisers, not off users, because users use the platform for free. So you want people to pay the money for advertising dollars. But when people didn't want to have their ads for Frito-Lay's potato chips running next to the porn he's allowing or the racism he's allowing, they were like, no, we don't want to advertise on this platform. We'll just post on our personal page. They hired a lot of these brands, and a lot of you guys may notice this. They hired a lot of these brand managers and social media people who are now saying more captivating viral stuff where they don't have to worry about, you know, buying ads because their organic is doing the work. What are you doing?
My microphone arm just broke. Like right in the middle.
Oh no!
Yeah, something I feel like, what just happened? All right, so I just gotta hold my mic. So yeah, no, Elon Musk is so funny. Twitter, for people who spend enough time on social media, it is like air. And so, he was wondering what was going on.
No, I'm laughing because he has he's watching us. He's it up so loud I can hear feedback of myself laughing
Oh
like
God.
after the fact. Okay, keep going.
So
Sorry guys,
anyway,
it's a fun show.
I've heard people in the industry who believe that he may, if Trump loses, he may sell X. But he's the master of just leveraging wealth he either has or doesn't have. The whole conversation around how he got the money to buy X was leveraging his stock in Tesla, which he claims he doesn't have for tax purposes, but for the purposes of buying X, he had it. It's the whole rich man game that they do. So we look at that and we say, because we have the people, we still don't call it X. It's Twitter.
Nobody
Twitter.
calls it. Even when
Nobody
you
calls
see it on the news, they always say X, formerly known as
formerly known
Twitter,
as
like it's
Twitter,
Prince.
right? Huh?
Like it's Prince, like the
Right,
artist
right,
formerly known as
right,
Prince.
right.
It's X, formerly known as Twitter.
Formerly known as Twitter, right?
But I miss the old days of Twitter. Twitter was a really great platform. Him buying it could have been a great thing, but he just kept turning the knobs too far left, turning the knobs too far right. Let's change the name to X. Let's bring back everybody who was banned for a political reason or said something awful. Let's bring them back on the platform.
Right.
You got your Laura Loomers, you got your Donald Trump's coming back. You have your just in general racism. He's allowing porn on the site. He's allowing and all of the guys are freedom of speech. But if it's a Democrat or if it's something that Elon Musk does not like, that person is blocked or banned from Twitter. So
And
how
that's
is
just
that
so
freedom of
dangerous.
speech if
That's just dangerous because it's not freedom of speech because he owns it. It's his platform. If he decides, okay, Miguel Lloyd, let's turn you off. Because you think about it, even us, like for me to go, I don't know if you know this or not. For us to go live now on Twitter, you have to pay.
Really?
Yeah.
How
When
much?
I try to go, I remember I used to go live on Twitter, and and then like 2 months ago or whatever, I tried to go live, and you got to have some sort of Twitter premium or something in order to be able to go live on this platform.
And I think that's how he thought he was going to survive with Twitter Premium.
Anybody doing that?
And no, very few people do it. There are some people who buy it. I know there's a lot of celebrities who buy it because they didn't want to have other people, other brands buying their name. Fine, so they pay the money. But now it's like regular people can buy it, and why? For what?
Right. So I'm looking forward to it going bye-bye. I'm looking forward to more people getting over the fan base. Go hang out over there.
Eventually people will move over to fan base. But speaking of fan base.
Yeah. What?
Speaking of fan base.
What?
Jesus. So the Isaac Hayes family has won their.
We didn't talk about this already?
We didn't talk about them actually sending a full-blown cease and desist and winning. We didn't talk about it.
I thought we already did this. All right. So anyway, so you're right. Speaking of fan base, so Donald Trump kept playing music that he ain't had no business playing. And once again, you had these situations where, folks think that they can do whatever they want. And we have so much access to music now. We just do. And so we think that that it's all cool. So what happened with Donald Trump, I'm trying to pull it back up. I'm pull up here now. What happened with Donald Trump is that he kept playing Hold On, I'm Coming, which is a song that was written by Isaac Hayes some 50 or 60 years ago. And Isaac Hayes III, who owns Fanbase and who is someone who manages the estate of his dad, and he's an all-around I don't play type of dude, and he's a marketer. He's a very, very successful marketer. And so, to me, it was kind of it was more benefits than just stopping stopping Trump and annoying the mess out of him by making Trump stop, because Trump didn't believe he was going to do it. And so Isaac Hayes got an injunction, I think it was about 2 days ago, from the courts here in Georgia that Donald Trump could no longer play his daddy's music at his rallies, and he about to get a bill for at least $3 million. Now, will Isaac get paid? We'll see.
Yeah. Because right now Trump owes $240 million or somewhere around there. And I'm saying that because when we add up everything, up every lawsuit, everything, it might not be that high, but it's a lot of money Trump owes. And to the Trump supporters, you guys are kind of dodos to the rest of us because you're not paying to support his campaign. you're supporting all the money he owes to all these people. That's where that
Right.
money is going. It's not
Right.
going towards commercials, because I haven't seen a Trump commercial in a minute. All I see is him going to rallies constantly. Have you seen a commercial? I haven't seen a commercial.
But that's interesting that you
Not
say
directly from him. I've seen commercials from PACs. I haven't seen a commercial directly from him.
I see commercials all the time. And here's the
Really?
thing. Here's the thing. Here it is. I'm getting ready. Man, where is it? I'm getting ready. We get ready to have a marketing minute. We're about to have a marketing minute because.
Oh, look, my logo's there.
Yeah, logo is there. Let me fix the logo because I wasn't expecting to use this one. Let me go ahead and pull that out. So you're in Florida, and we're what? What are you pointing at?
Sorry, I'm just pointing at my logo. I'm just being stupid. Go ahead. We're in Florida. You're in Georgia. I'm in Florida.
I'm in Georgia. You're in Florida. Florida is not considered a battleground state.
No.
Pretty much, Trump is going to win Florida, right?
But the villages are giving him a run for his money.
This is what I hear. Yes. So part of the reason why you're probably not seeing any ads in Florida because they're not spending any money in Florida because they don't have to spend money in Florida. They have to spend money in Georgia. Georgia's a battleground state. I'm so tired of seeing these Trump ads. All this. So yes, I'm seeing a ton of Trump ads on a regular basis here in Georgia. And
so for Florida, that seems dumb given was happening with a lot of cities, especially the villages. The villages worked hard for Trump last time he ran. It was Trump country. Now it is not Trump country, and that's a huge voting block.
Tell us about the villages. It's supposed to be an area, a bunch of old people in this area.
Wealthy people, wealthy white people who vote, who actively vote, who
and they're
actively
near where
spend
he
money.
is down in West. Where is he? Mar-a-Lago? No. Or is he in Orlando? Where are they at?
So the villages is near me and Omar. Honestly, it's maybe 45 minutes from our house, but it's 20 minutes from my mother-in-law's house because she lives in that Ocala Villages area. It's one big giant city, and so, it's a lot, and he doesn't have it.
And so I'm just optimistic, and don't get me wrong. I know it's just like I always look at it like a pendulum. I had actually one of my Republican friends called me today. Or yesterday, and we had this conversation. He told me, he said, and by the way, I'm not voting for Trump this time. I said, well, thank God, you're not voting for Trump. But he was, I said this was a pendulum, right? It started with, it was simmering, and then when Obama got elected, it swung all the way what people thought was all the way to the left. Obama was not all the way to the left. Obama's a centrist. But the color of his skin made him all the way. He is not all the way to the left. But people who don't pay attention to actual policies and what they do, they thought Obama was a leftist. So then we had him for 8 years. And here comes Captain Save White Folks in Donald Trump. And Donald Trump came in, we're going to save America, we're going to save ourselves, blah, 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 blah. And then the pendulum swung so far, and he's not even so far to the right. He's beyond right. He done spun the pendulum all the way around. And so he's dug up all these roots, these people who were out in Appalachia who didn't have a voice, and he dug them up and gave all these people all this branding up to. And so we needed Joe Biden to come in as an old, established white dude to say, hold on, I can't because my mic arm is broke. I can't do what I want to do. I can't move my hands. I talk to my hands.
Just go.
So here comes the old white dude who comes in and says, I'm bare knuckles and I'm gonna beat Donald Trump. And he beat him. But he said, I ain't had but one haymaker in me.
I know.
But
listen, I think we talked about this. We just needed Joe Biden or whoever. It could have been anybody. It could have been a sock puppet, just to keep stuff level. We don't need you to be super excited. We don't need you to be great. We just need you to be a calm lake and not a rushing river of crap.
Correct. And I really believe in this country, the way our system is set up, this is the best way that it was going to happen, that a woman, and it happens to be a black woman and Asian woman, will be president. A brown woman will be president. Because they have to go through the entire primary process and all of that type of stuff. It would have gotten ugly. They'd have found somebody to try to run up there and try to act like it wasn't what it was. And so, but the pendulum is now. So here's the thing: Kamala Harris wins in November. We should get back to good old fashioned politics again. You know, Lynn Cheney.
I'm praying.
Yeah, we'll get back to good old fashioned politics again. Liz Cheney to go back to her
I honestly just want a regular political season to come up. She runs 4 years. We got somebody else run, and somebody regular who just like, I don't like her views. Like, okay, cool, you don't like her views, but you're not spouting crap about her being a hoe or her doing this or like this crazy crap that doesn't be a part of it. And listen, let me tell you something that I think anybody who's watching the show can agree with. JD Vance is a plant. He was not sent to help Trump. That man is not helping Trump. Trump won't be seen. He's saying the dumbest stuff to ever dumb in the history of dummies.
Because the gardener is Trump. He didn't want to brought him in, or was just, or you just
why did they not vet him?
Or did you say Trump is just so dumb they let him slip under the radar? Because he is a piece of work. JD Vance presents very well. He doesn't fall off the handle. He speaks well. He says all of the nutsy stuff that he says in a very calm, level-headed, and if you're not really listening to the words, you're like, oh, he's not that bad. They're like, hold up, what? Did you just say that if you got more kids, you get more votes? Where did that come from? He's not Trump. You know, he knows how to stay on message.
Ted Bundy. He's Ted Bundy.
Ooh,
he's a Ted Bundy of politics.
Ted
Bundy got a lot of women to go off with him so he could murder them because Ted Bundy did not appear like a serial killer. He was handsome. He was mild-mannered. He was quiet. He was well-spoken.
Yeah.
And J.D. Vance is the same way. I just watched a clip of him saying something else from Joy-Ann Reid where it's like, what are you talking about? But he said it in a smart, eloquent voice in a calm way, and it just sounded like he just knew what he was talking about. But in reality, it's like you have no clue what any of the words you just said mean. What are you doing?
No, and but he says it with his chest, and people go for it. Are we doing what today? Are we doing what?
One more thing. We are one more thing, and I also think just like Melania not showing up for Trump at all, JD Vance's wife has also stopped showing up at all. For any political person we've ever had run anybody, we see their spouse because it's a part of it. You know, America wants a family person. They do.
Yeah.
You know, even Pete Buttigieg, his husband, he may be gay. This husband always shows up, always supports.
Yeah.
You know, Doug Emhoff always supports.
Yeah.
Bill cheated and embarrassed the crap out of Hillary Clinton. She will always show up by that man's side. Melania? When's the last time you saw Melania? She came to the RNC.
It's been a minute. It's been since they packed their bags. For all I know, Barron got a beard now. We ain't seen him in so long.
He grown. He grown. But Melania came to the RNC, but told them people, I'm not speaking. I'll wave and walk in, and I'm going to have a seat. But I'm not introducing him. I'm not speaking. He tries to kiss her. She's like, no, I'm good.
Didn't Barron graduate high school, and he didn't show up to the graduation or something? Wasn't it?
No. He showed up to graduation. They were worried that his dad wasn't going to be able to attend because he's on, was he a house arrest or something weird where he had to get permission to go to the graduation?
Who? Who's dad?
Trump. His father.
Donald Trump?
Isn't that Barron Trump's dad?
Oh, you're saying they thought Donald Trump was going to be the go because of one of his court cases, right?
Because of the court cases. So Barron graduated and walked in graduation, but Trump wasn't. The confusion was Trump wasn't going to be able to come. That's why it's
Okay. All right.
Anyway, so we can go into Hell What Now. That's our thing. Did you watch the new movie, Your Head? There we go. Did you watch the movie, The Deliverance, that just came out by Lee Daniels? Let's do this.
Yes, we watched it.
What are your thoughts? Okay. Deliverance is the movie that just came out on Netflix. It stars the amazing Audra Day. It stars Glenn Close. It stars Caleb McLaughlin. You might know Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things. Monique is also in it because she reconnected with Lee Daniels. It is a film about exorcism from the Black perspective. If you've seen the original movie with white people,
what's the white perspective of exorcism? Ain't it all the same?
I don't think so. I don't think a Black demon would say he could smell somebody's nappy pussy, but that's just me. I don't know how white demons work.
Jesus Christ, you brought it out. All right, just so you know, our guest has showed up, so we're gonna have a few minutes with him before we get off the show. But we have a few minutes with Donta here in a sec. But finish. Deliverance was I told you I had to turn Martin on.
It was dark. It's dark.
Because I said, I don't play. And here's the thing: I have a very great relationship with God. I don't have no problem. I know He's with me all the time, so I'm not tripping. But when you got the little boy growling and this, that, and the third, and all that, and it was wild. And then Glenn Close. First of all, I'm trying to figure out why Omar. First of all, the lineup they had.
Why was he there?
They had. Oh, he got a check. They had Omar Epps in there. They had Anjanou Ellis in there.
Omar Epps was in there for 2 scenes. They could have kept his whole unless they left a whole bunch.
I'm just trying. I'm like, what's? I said, this is a running joke. Where he looking at Glenn Close like, girl. I said, wow, okay. And so, but Glenn Close played that white mama to the T. She had a little asymmetric wig on and everything, and
yes, 27-piece cut with the curls in it. But let me tell you, Lee Daniels got in trouble because he said Alberta, who plays Glenn Close's character, is the fabric in the Black community, and I'm so glad that Glenn Close got to play the part. And people really jumped on saying the fabric of our community. I was 14 years old, getting my hair braided at my ghetto auntie's house, Auntie Debbie. Next door to her was Joanne, whose boyfriend's name was Johnny. Joanne was white, Johnny was Black. Joanne talked Black, act Black, and every time they would get to arguing, my Aunt Debbie would say, Joe and Johnny out there arguing again, and there would be this white woman tatted up on one arm arguing with this Black man in the yard. So for me, she was the fabric in my life. I'm very familiar with Alberta.
She was down. She done raised this Black woman who got these 3 other kids. She was down. And then when they got to the point that they did the little, what they call the exorcism, they called it something else. We shot throwing a holy water
Deliverance.
And all this stuff. And they had the whole thing about the going down in the pits of hell in the house. I said, this is some nonsense. And I said, then it's Lee Daniels. And then
but it's based on a true story. And it's based on a real true story. Like, I thought that some of this probably was a little bit made up for the show, for the movie, just for entertainment value. Right. Then I read some of the police reports. Then I read the court cases. The actual CPS nurses, when the little boy walked up the wall, the backwards way, that happened in real life. And the actual nurses made reports saying, no, this happened. It freaked all of us out. We immediately called the security guard officers. We all ran out of the room. We couldn't believe it. It was so disturbing.
All right, we're going to finish this up because I want to respect Dante. Dante, you still there?
Okay.
Where you at? He was there. All right, I'll see when he comes back. There you go. He's coming now. All right. We're going to come back and finish up what we are watching. But as we were talking earlier about Isaac Hayes and the Donald Trump situation, and I looked, I said, hold up. Who is that in the background hanging out with Ike, taking pictures? It's none other than our brother. Oh, let me put him in.
Zoom out.
On. Come on. I'll unlock the scene. I was trying to be slick with my little delivery. My little microphone acting up today. All right, come on. Here we go. All right, guest 3. There we go. What's up, my brother? And then my head's all big in here. I'm telling you, man, it's
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm running behind.
Is your daughter asleep before we get like a shocking walk-in again? Is she in bed?
Right, that's what I was going to say. You was probably putting the baby to bed, so we're not even tripping.
Well, I am solo dad today. My wife is on call, but I think she's preoccupied enough.
Let us because we talking people who didn't see that show, they don't know. Donta Carter, he's been on our show before, and one of the funniest scenes you ever had here on Life with Circle Radio. He's sitting here and he's having a serious conversation. He's giving a delivery, and his baby girl just ran up behind him and scared the crap out of him. And it was giving us love. We loved it.
Why he looked at her, y'all, like he forgot he had a child. Like, where did this baby come from? Where did she come from?
She forget she ain't no daddy though.
Well, my wife, that night in particular, I told her I was going to do this interview. I said, babe, you got Kylie. She said, I got her. And then I went back and watched it. I didn't even realize I didn't mute. So y'all heard me running up the stairs. I'm like, babe, what is going on, babe? I get up there. She knocked down. I mean, all the way knocked down. Kylie's like, yeah, Dad, I just wanted to come hang. No, ain't no hanging. You got school in the morning. What are you talking about?
Oh my Lord, man! That was amazing. That was amazing. So you know, us daddies / business people, you know, the kids always gonna get precedence. So it is what it is. I ain't even mad at you because It ain't no telling. One of my kids and my dog come knocking through this door right in front of me any minute if they feel like doing it. Let's talk real quick while we got you for a couple of minutes. And you were there. Isaac Hayes III won the injunction, his family and the estate of Isaac Hayes against Donald Trump. Give us a little bit of your play-by-play of what went down with that.
Yeah, gosh, right around June, before June, that's when they sent the in so many words, that cease and desist. Hey, y'all don't have rights to use my father's song. Hang on, I'm coming. And they got documentation that the Trump campaign has used it over 50 times. And so anybody that understands copyright and copyright infringement understands that that's a no-no,
Yeah.
And so it's bananas. I think, what was so powerful about what happened though is not only for the first time in the history was a former president or president held accountable in this manner, because it's not like Donald Trump's the only one that's done this. Like, it's been done in the past. And but what was so powerful about this moment is, for the first time, they heard the voice of the culture, which is, hey man, we tired of y'all robbing us. And usually when we hear these stories, it's 40, 50 years down the road when they're fighting. And I know tons of folks in this space who are fighting to get their royalties back, right? Who are fighting to make back that money that they lost. And so to do this, do it in real time and win in real time. Because a lot of folks was like, oh, y'all got the injunction, that's cool. Like, no, we ain't done.
Right.
So wait, let me ask you a quick question. Was this about getting the royalties from him using over 50 times? Which, by the way, I did not know was over 50 times. Was this about the royalties, or was this about that you guys, the family really doesn't want Isaac Hayes' message attached to a Donald Trump?
Well, I think that's what Isaac Hayes, in the press conference, he really drew the fact to. It was about, Trump's team came on and said, this is about politics. He said, no, this is about character. My father had 7 daughters. We know what you've been found guilty of in court of doing. And so, and again, I think it goes back to the point of how many times before have you ever heard of an artist saying, I don't want my music associated with this person? A lot of folks don't know that they have a right to do these things.
Right.
They don't know.
We have. With Donald Trump in particular, we've heard several. Well, maybe no, when Isaac, he's a giant artist. We've heard a lot of artists. I've only ever heard it when it comes to Donald Trump. No other political character I've ever heard it with, but with him, every artist has come out and been like, please don't play my music.
Right.
I don't want you playing my music.
Right.
You're disgusting. I don't want you playing my music.
If you think about it, Beyonce, there was an announcement that came out before the Harris campaign started using Freedom. They made it very clear. She has permission to use this song. So be prepared to get sick of it. What I find interesting, I've known Ike now for probably 5 years. We were, when I was spending a lot more time at the Gathering Spot, and he was there just when it was an idea, right?
Yeah.
And so Ike has done something, like you said, that's really showing people this can be done. We're talking about these publishing rights coming back to the family. I think it's something odd, like 57 years or some odd number is the amount of time that has to expire before it comes back to the original owners of the work, right?
Yep.
How many people can say that they waited 57 years to go back, black folks, to go back and do what he is doing? Because, there's a time when we started hearing some of our favorite R&B and hip hop songs and commercials and things, like I had a moment the other day. It was like I was 2 commercials in a row. One of them was voiced by Q-Tip, and the next commercial was using "Can I Kick It?" I'm a huge Tribe Called Quest fan, right? But immediately your immediate thought is this is a great thing, right? Our favorite artists are getting showcased, and now as we learn more about the business, we're saying, well, how many of them are possibly getting exploited? And now this is a situation where Ike is saying, no, you're not exploiting my daddy's legacy.
Yeah, and the reality is a lot of artists are getting exploited, and a lot of them don't know their rights, and that's what was so crucial about this moment. I can't tell you how many just on Instagram folks started following me on that artist side, because the reality is 9 times out of 10, they probably got a case where they're like, hey man, I need to get connected with somebody, right?
Right.
And start to get my rights back. We had a case back in for Juneteenth where we celebrated the creator of Cooley High, who's, you know, we know he's been in a full fight for his royalties, for Cooley High, for all these things. And so
Yeah.
I think that we're in this place where very often does the culture take center stage in federal court
Yeah.
and win.
Yeah.
And the culture won. And I think that, not I think, I hope other artists see this and say, you know what? We're going to continue this fight for equity and entertainment. We're going to continue to make sure not just our lyrical voices are heard, but also our legal voices. And I think that's a part of this that needs to, that I hope takes precedent as well.
Oh no! By the way, you're doing this work along with the NAACP, correct?
Well, this one was with Attorney Griggs, who, he's the president of
No, the NAACP.
The
Right.
Georgia NAACP, Atlanta NAACP. So, I
Right.
mean, y'all know, man, I'm a little good trouble advocate. So I like getting in good trouble. So we gonna
Yeah.
do it with shake. So,
Yeah.
but man, I'm so excited for the family. I'm so happy for the family. Because again, this is the first time in federal court this has ever happened. And I
No,
don't.
it's the first time in federal court, but I'm actually also surprised. I mean, has there ever been a fight for Isaac Hayes in music in the past? Because I know with his likeness, there was an issue with South Park with that. So has there ever been another issue with Isaac Hayes' family with any other likeness issues with how, you know, prominent he was?
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably an Ike question. That's probably the Ike question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if
It
I
might
can
be,
get you an answer.
sorry.
But if you have an answer, Dante, go ahead. But that's probably an Ike question.
Well, no. I'll say this. I think they've been very pro in protecting his legacy, his estate, and so there's no doubt in my mind that there's most likely been other cases because the family whole. I mean, to see them together, to see that fight, how they stand in unity, they're just. What I saw there is what I hope my child carries on. Right? Is
Right.
hey man, when they're dead and gone, we're not gonna let anybody take advantage of any of this stuff, and really stand firm and connected. And I just think as a community, that's something that we got to carry on as well, because it's, you know, you almost forget what type of rights we have until you sit in court and you gotta to watch them argue. Hey, we're paying homage to Isaac Hayes, to oh, this is fair use, to all these arguments they threw up in court, right?
Yeah.
And that judge said, hey dog, 5% of black women, right? We always with 5 percentage points of our sisters the same way that our sisters are celebrated. You got to celebrate black men. You got to celebrate black family. You got to celebrate black community, because it is going to be the black community that wins this vote. I know folks don't want to hear that. I know they're going to be feeling some type of way, but that's just the reality. When you look at the numbers of when be intentional about that reflect them in their lives. Be intentional about that reflect them in their lives.
Well, is there a way she can do it without pandering? Well, is there a way she can do it without pandering? Because that's always the, you know, we've all heard it.
Yeah, and I think that's where our former Democratic nominee for governor in Georgia ran is, where's her black man, right?
You're talking about
I'm not gonna go
for her, and that's
I'm not gonna go
for her, and that's the point of what I'm getting at. And so for her, and that's the point of what I'm getting at. And so I think that is, and we had one of the older cats that sat down. He said, let's just talk from a party perspective. For black folks, where has the progress occurred? Under what the color?
I've been kind of looking distracted. I'm like, why is this my when she had this is a whole when she had this is a whole there's some more weakness here.
Listen, when she went like this, I said, oh my goodness, you look like my Lord.
That was some mess, bro. I said
she had cancer. She had cancer. People.
Yes,
I got you. I got you. We can joke because it ain't real.
Because it ain't real.
No.
It's a character she was playing. So
that's right. So we can joke
production because you're gonna get better than Tyler Perry. You know how I feel about Tyler. It was a
It's on Netflix, so I ain't gotta worry about it popping up on TNT anytime soon. But rest assured, I ain't stopping to watch it again. I done had enough. I'm good. It's out of town. Where you up in Gwinnett?
No, we up in North Fulton, but I hit you tired guys, and let's just have a real conversation. No, I don't care what tired guys, and let's just have a real conversation. No, I don't care what type of misinformation. No, I don't care what type of misinformation's out there. It's different when we close them barbershop doors.
Because it keeps on bumping us off the stream. So we're gonna go ahead and knock this thing out, man. Appreciate you making it have it back.
so late, y'all. I
Huh?
appreciate y'all
No,
great.
you're fine.
All right, y'all. Peace and love.